In the heart of cozy forest meadow lived a little hedgehog named Henry. But Henry wasn't like the other hedgehogs. Oh no, while everyone else had sharp, stiff spikes that pointed straight up, Henry was born with a rather strange and frankly floppy problem. His spikes drooped down like wet noodles. They wiggled and jiggled with every single step he took. "Watch me, son," his dad would say, curling up into a perfect spiky ball. Pokey poke. Poke. His spikes were a fortress, a dangerous pincushion ready for anything. "Now, you try, Henry." So, Henry would try. He'd tuck his head in and roll into a ball. But his floppy spikes just draped over him like a saggy knitted blanket. They hung down limply, swaying gently in the breeze. No sharp points, no protection. He looked less like a hedgehog and more like a furry meatball covered in cooked spaghetti. "Ha ha ha, look, it's Spaghetti Hog," the other young hedgehogs would taunt. "Your spikes are useless. They're not spiky. They're droopy. What are you going to do if a fox comes? Wiggle at him. You're not a hedgehog. You're a noodle." Henry would shake his little body in frustration, which only made his floppy spikes wiggle like a hula skirt. "Stop laughing," he'd cry, but this just sent the others into fits of laughter, rolling on the ground. Feeling dejected, Henry would run to his favorite thinking log and flop down sadly. "I must be the most pathetic hedgehog in history," he'd sigh to himself, touching one of his droopy spikes. It bent easily, just like a rubber band. "My spikes can't protect me. I can't even look scary. I'm just ... floppy." That evening, the annual Meadow Music Festival was about to begin. It was the biggest event of the year, where all the forest animals gathered to play instruments and sing their hearts out. But disaster struck just moments before the opening act. Mr. Rabbit's guitar strings all snapped. "New," he cried, holding his stringless guitar. "The show starts in 5 minutes. Where will I find new strings?" he panicked. "They need to be flexible but strong. They have to vibrate perfectly to make music. I can't play without them." A wave of panic swept through the crowd. Everyone tried to help. They brought blades of grass, but they were too weak. They offered spider webs, but they were far too sticky. They even tried long vines, but they were too thick to make a sound. Nothing worked. From behind a bush, Henry watched the chaos unfold, feeling as useless as ever. Then, he looked down at his own floppy spikes. They were flexible, they were strong, and they could certainly vibrate. A little idea began to spark in his mind. "Wait a minute, ... Mr. Rabbit, try my spikes," Henry shouted, running out from his hiding spot. All eyes turned to him. "Your ... spikes?" Mr. Rabbit asked, confused. "But Henry, they're so floppy." "Exactly," Henry exclaimed. "Stiff spikes would just snap, but my spikes are flexible. They can vibrate. They're perfect for guitar strings." Hesitantly, Mr. Rabbit carefully plucked one of Henry's long floppy spikes. It didn't hurt Henry a bit. They came out easily and grew right back. He strung it onto the guitar, took a deep breath, and strummed. The most beautiful, resonant sound echoed through the meadow. It was richer and fuller than any sound they'd ever heard. "It's perfect," Mr. Rabbit gasped. "It's even better than regular strings. The flexibility makes the sound so much richer." Quickly, he strung 5 more of Henry's spikes onto the guitar. The concert was saved, and it was absolutely amazing. Mr. Rabbit played the most beautiful music the forest had ever heard. The whole meadow danced under the moonlight. At the end of the show, Mr. Rabbit held his guitar high and announced, "This incredible music is all thanks to Henry and his magical spikes." The entire forest erupted in cheers for the little hedgehog. From that night on, Henry became the most popular hedgehog in the forest. Musicians lined up hoping to get some of his flexy spikes. He supplied spikes for guitars, violins, harps, and even a tiny banjo for a hummingbird. Henry's dad pulled him into a gentle hug with tears of pride in his eyes. "Son," he said, his voice thick with emotion, "I was so worried about you not being normal. But you were extraordinary all along. Stiff spikes protect, but your spikes ... your spikes create music. You don't have to defend with fear, because you can bring joy with beauty." Henry smiled, wiggling his floppy spikes with pride. He wasn't a Noodle-Hog, he was a musical hog, and his wonderfully floppy spikes made the whole forest sing. It turns out, his greatest weakness was actually his most beautiful strength. Thanks for watching our little story. If you enjoyed Henry's journey, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe for more tales from the meadow. See you next time.